of welcoming each and every one of you to this online parents meeting. We are very happy to have you all in this evening. I want to thank every one of you for sparing your precious time 1 hour around from 7 to 8 for the cause of this parents meeting. And then we have chosen this time because we know that you are more free, refreshed, all of you are back from your offices, and that is the reason we have chosen a time in the evening to have this meeting. Dear parents, let me have the joy of welcoming you and the students, and let us all give a round of applause and welcome each and everyone in this evening. So please give a round of applause and welcome all our parents. You know, over the last 2 months, life has changed so much that we have found our own way of rediscovering ourselves in different forms and different shapes. There is a saying that there is only one thing that is constant in the world and in life, and that is change. Life is like a river. It flows. And you know, when a river it begins, it has a small beginning, and as it flows downward, the river becomes bigger and bigger. It has twists and turns. It hits against rocks and valleys, and then the river becomes larger and larger. And perhaps our life also is in the same manner. It flows, it has twists and turns, it has changes, and that makes the beauty of our life. And that is exactly what has happened to all of us during the last 3 months. Without our expecting, something happened, and we have found out our own way of rediscovering ourselves. We have found our own way of finding our own solutions, and I am very happy that all of you parents have taken it as a challenge, and I want to congratulate all of you for being such wonderful and great parents, especially for looking after our students during these days. And at the same time, I would like to tell every one of you that because of this COVID-19, our children have lost nothing. Rather, they have had everything as it used to be. Normal classes, regular classes, chapter tests, PT exams, and everything will be happening as it used to be. And I want to thank you all for the support and the cooperation that you have extended to our teachers and to the school management over the last 2-3 months. And hoping to get the same cooperation and support, we move ahead, trusting and hoping in God as well. And in this evening, I have the joy of welcoming Mr. Anchan Chowdhury, a very renowned person who will be able to really give us lot of information, knowledge, as well as real teaching how to be a good parent. All of us are familiar, I believe, with this person because he has come to our school in the past as well. He has traveled extensively over Northeast India and all over our country, and more especially, he has visited every institution that we have here in Northeast India, training to teachers, to parents, to students, and so on. And he is a life skill trainer. He has an academy called Skillfinity, and he has given training to IAS officers, politicians, police officers, to professors, to teaching faculty, students, and everyone. He is a well-renowned person here in Guwahati. So on behalf of the entire SFS family, I would like to thank Anchan for being with us, and I would like to welcome him for this parents training. So let us give a round of applause and heartily welcome Anchan in this evening. So let's give a round of applause and welcome him. Anchan, are you there? Anchan? Anjan, I
Yes,
think.
Father, I'm here. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yes, yes, Anjan, please go ahead. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, parents. Good evening, Sangyukta ma'am and Father. Uh, First of all, I was actually conducting this parents meet also out from the first standard, and one thing which was wonderful, a realization which I had found is most of the time during parents meet, the fathers do not come to the school. They push the moms back to the school. Eh, tumi jua, moi na jao. Tumi goi sai ahiba, moi na jao. Because generally parents meets do happen during the school hours. Fathers would have their own office duties, and they have always tried to skip out parents meeting. Our revered Father George, who always speaks of a pandemic crisis, but then I'll tell this crisis has given us the best gift that both the parents, including the child, sits in front of us, and we actually can talk and we actually can connect. I might sound at times to be sarcastic during this program because we have come down to a juncture of raising our child on the most dangerous peripheral, that is class 7 and class 8. Class 7 and class 8 is definitely not very easy to handle. Now, most of the parents who might as well sit back there while Father said me that I could actually give on parenting tips, I would also think about one thing, that why would parents want to take up a tip from me? Because being a parent, you are a bona fide authority of deciding everything, the correct measures for your child. But parents, I would want to also redirect your attention towards certain issues, certain peripherals that requires clinical understanding. I have used the word called clinical understanding because by default, in the process of parenting, I, by default, in the process of parenting, I forget that as a parent, I also do not know many things and many aspects of raising up my own child. I have been saying the same thing from from day one of inception of training, that a child by default is born because of us, but the child is not born for us. The child is not bound to listen to everything that we actually wanted him to abide by. There are parents from class 7, class 8, class 9 to class 12 who would come up to me asking that মোৰ লৰাই এটাও কথা নুশুনে, মোৰ ছোৱালী গোটেই দিন মোবাইলটো খুচুৰি লৈ ফুৰি থাকে গৈ, মোৰ লৰাই অমুক বস্তুটো পঢ়িবই নবহে, একেবাৰে পঢ়াত মন নাই. So parents, I would not know how the children here listening to me would take the disadvantage of my speech. But I would tell you one thing, all of us, we have crossed this age. And in the beginning, I said one of the most dangerous turnouts, one of the most dangerous turning point of a child's age is from class 7. Class 7 onwards, the seeds of adolescence are sown and are also prepared. All the modules, the capsules, the syllabuses, you would see is slightly different and deviated from the primary school levels till the time he reaches and he finishes the mid school. Now, while he comes back to class 7, the syllabus has changed, and most of the time, the child started facing challenges. Tan lage. Hanghatik tan paise. Koribo bisara nai. Etia parai, the bacha will have finicky and choices of moi English beya pao, moi mathematics beya pao, omuk ma'am beya, omuk sir beya, sare muk gali dise, ma'am muk gali dise. And the same thing I have repeated also in the previous training sessions are, in the process of obsessive love, in the nurturing capacity of our children, we have forgotten to instill competence within the child. যদি টিচারে বেয়া পাইছে, যদি টিচারে বেয়াকে কৈছে, যদি প্ৰজেক্ট হোৱা নাই, যদি টিচারে বেয়াকে গালি দিলে, যদি হ্যান্ডবুকত কিবা কমপ্লেইন্টস দিলে, we start discussing the teacher back at home in front of the child, and we start creating a permanent damage. Why? From now onwards, the child's peripheral of connectivity towards various emotions in the social architecture has now developed. He or she now understands the protocols of society, the protocols of life, and the management of social behavior. Now, each and everything he gets the schooling from you now. The moment you speak bad about a teacher or a particular teacher, you don't understand, the child creates a permanent scar within himself against that particular teacher. In my single screen, I am not scrolling here and there till the 9th page of my visibility. I would not know how many teachers are present here. But I should have to tell you, I have had interactions with the school teachers for a long amount of time. And I do have a wonderful, wonderful professional connect with the group of teachers under whose governance your child is very, very safe. I, as an outsider, I, as a neutral agent, can tell you. You are clueless how powerful would be these group of teachers who would handle your child. My all-time favorite had been Sandra ma'am. My all-time favorite had been Sangeeta ma'am. I'm sure she's not here because Sangeeta ma'am is, I think, in the higher senior secondary section. My wonderful acquaintances with Sudeep sir for mathematics, my wonderful acquaintances with all of you all people, the teachers, made me believe one thing about the stupendous investment the school authority has done to nurture these teachers to do the best and the superlative for your child, which we as parents घर पे बैठ के घर के अंदर से हमें पता नहीं चलेगा कि स्कूल ने हम लोगों को, स्कूल ने टीचर्स को कितना इक्विप्ड बनाया, कितना पावरफुल बनाया हमारा बच्चा को संभालने के लिए। हमारा बच्चा को संभालना बहुत आसान नहीं है, आपको खुद भी पता होगा। और हमारा बच्चा को अकेला संभालना मुश्किल होता है तो पकड़ लीजिए 50 बच्चा और 100 बच्चा और 150 बच्चा एक क्लास में आया, हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज फॉर अ टीचर to handle a child. And the bigger problem is teacher ok etu khubidao dia nohobo ki iman keta bachcha kame ekeloge sabo sam kenekwa. Teacher baidho gote keta bachcha development or karone, and the teacher is doing their work responsibly, judiciously. আজি বহুত প্যারেন্টসে হয়তো বা ঘৰত বহি ভাবিছে এই অনলাইন ক্লাसेस কৰাই কোনো লাভ নাই, কিন্তু আপোনালোকৰ কোনো কল্পনাও নাথাকিব হয়তো বা যে অনলাইন ক্লাसेस, মই নিজে এজন ট্ৰেইনাৰ, মই নিজে এজন প্ৰশিক্ষক আৰু মই গম পাওঁ অনলাইন ক্লাसेस কৰাটো ফ্ৰম ফিজিক্যাল ক্লাছৰুম, এই ৰাতিপুৱা 7টা বজাত 8টা বজাত স্কুলত গৈ ক্লাছ কৰাতকে লাখ টাইমছ ডিফিকাল্ট, নট ইজি। আপোনালোকে বহুতে হয়তো বা ভাবিব আমাৰ ক্লাसेसे নহল, সিলেবাসে শেষ হোৱা নাই, অনলাইনতো কোনো কামে নাই, এনে কৰা হৈছে। এই ধৰণৰ স্টেটমেন্টস বোৰ আপোনালোকে কৈছে বুলি মই ক'ব যোৱা নাই, জেনাৰেলি পেৰেন্টস এইবোৰ কথা পাতে। I as a parent, I also have a peripheral of my son's school, and I've also seen my group of parents who has spoken the same way. It's not very easy for a teacher to finish and accomplish a syllabus, because while we talk from the teacher's perspective, she is not only completing her syllabuses on time, she is also nurturing virtues towards your children. Aru aji class 7 aru class 8 is the most difficult to nurture the virtues by one teacher whose allowance of the class is 40 minutes to 45 minutes. Now you will be clueless to understand the governance the school does for a particular child's upbringing. আৰু তাৰে মাজত মামুলি এটা কমপ্লেইন, মামুলি এজন টিচাৰৰ এগেইনষ্টত এটা কথা বা মামুলি এটা বাচ্চাৰ এগেইনষ্টত আৰু এটা কথা আমাৰ বাচ্চাই যেতিয়া আমাক আহি কয়, and the kind of response that we give creates the permanent damage within the child's psychology. Now that's why I would want to make sure to everybody of all of us that আপোনালোকে মোৰ কথাবোৰ বেয়া নাপাব। বহুতে হয়তো বা ভাবিছে এডলেসেন্সৰ বয়স আমিও কটাই আহিছো, আমিও জানো এডলেসেন্স কেনেকুৱাকে হ্যান্ডেল কৰিব লাগে, but basically parents, I'll tell you something, আমি নাজানো। আমাৰ সময়ত এনেকুৱাকে accesses নাছিলে, we are clueless about how we have been nurturing ourselves and our children. Nuclear families আহি পৰিছে, নিউক্লিয়াৰ ফ্যামিলিজৰ প্ৰত্যেকটা মানুহৰ কথা বতৰা, প্ৰত্যেকজন মানুহৰ ইমোশনাল কানেকশনস টুৱাৰ্ডস ইচ আদাৰ is very crystal clear and transparent. Whatever the mom and the dad does, that becomes an iconic issue for a child to follow forever, and nobody's there to correct. Deuta aru mai hodai bhabibo, I think I am the correct human being to have nurtured the child in the most positive way. But perhaps let us again re-inspect ourselves and ideally understand, can we actually think for a different dynamics to raise these young adults? Class 7 and class 8 is considered to be an age group that speaks about permanent social constitution. The child that is going to behave, the child that is going to contribute his elements, GG paise, যিবোৰ আমাৰ সমাজত কন্ট্ৰিবিউট কৰিব as a social boon or as a social evil, will happen because of us. And আজি তাৰিখত আমি যেনেকুৱাকে ভাবিছো বস্তুটো খুব সহজ হ'ব, কাইলে চাব আমাৰ কিছুমান ৰিঅ্যাকশনস, আমাৰ কিছুমান অ্যাকশনস, আমাৰ কিছুমান way of conversation has made and molded the child in one particular rigid format. Tarpora bacha ko change kori ghuri nahibo. That is why, parents, my earnest request to everybody is to please redirect the first attention that we need to understand. I don't know how many children are sitting in front of me, whether it will be very wise for all the children to listen to it or not. But then let's face it. The first problem is the child will start developing their changes in the body. The adolescence factors would come. And while these adolescence factors in the biology will come, there is a huge amount of psychological changes that the child will develop. You also know it correctly. I know that. But the problem is, how do we deal it right now? How have you been dealt during your adolescence is not the same that can happen in today's world, because the child has the biggest curse of mankind, which is called the Android mobile phone. It's always not a boon. Had it been a boon, we would not have had that much of cyber crimes in our country as compared with other countries and as compared with other places. Now, the biggest curse that we have, this Android mobile phone, also is required and a mandatory element of academic system in today's world. Let's forget about pandemic. Pandemic or agor pora amar Google dorkar asile, omukor dorkar asile, tumukor dorkar asile. We can understand. But how the child has been accessing through the internet from now onwards, what are the browsing history pages the child has gone through, requires strict governance. Khub karhake sabo lagibo amar bacha kun kita kenekwa ke kun jagat ghuri furi ahise in the internet. Why? Because a young brain is always prone towards understanding the wrong things of life. Suppose in school or pra jiman letara gali asile omukor bacha ei galibor kintu ami agot school or pra loi ahisu. Tar pisot ghorot delivery disu. Tarpisot ঘৰত আমি মাৰ খাইছো, tarpisot গম পালো এই শব্দবোৰ ভাষাবোৰ ক'ব নাপায়. This was how we were brought up. But in today's world, the bacha starts accessing the internet for all good and for all reasons that we will not be able to understand. Why is he doing so? Because the course curriculum ot pai ei bostubor khomabo loga. Now, parents, I would first of all again request the second part to put a deep concentration on the child's privacy. Children are not allowed privacy at home, and that's one reason adolescence is malnurtured. এটা সময় আছিল যেতিয়া বহুত দেউতাক মাকে কব আমি পাঁচজন ভাই ভনী আছিলো, আমি একেলগে ডাঙৰ হৈছো, আমাৰ খুৰা আছিলে, জেঠা আছিলে, পেহা আছিলে, আমি একেলগে ডাঙৰ হৈছো. Gone are those days, because the systems, the syllabuses, the approach, the semesters, the FAs, the essays, the summative assessments, those assessments were not as much as compared to the CBSE guidelines that we have today, as compared to our time. এনেকো আসলে যে আমি 3 বছর মানে 2 বছর পড়াশোনা কৰি গ্রাজুয়েশন পার্ট 1 দিছিলো, ফার্স্ট ইয়ার আর সেকেন্ড ইয়ার, দেন 1 বছর পড়াশোনা কৰি পার্ট 2 দিছিলো. Things has changed. Semesters has come in. বহুতে কৈছে সেমিস্টার পরীক্ষাটো খুব সহজ হইছে, but it's not that easy too. So we require a different dimension to think about a child's privacy. Child's privacy মানে নহয় যে বাচ্চাক আপুনি বেলাগাম এৰি দিলে আৰু আমি নাচালো তাৰ ব্যাগত কি আছে. গোটেইখিনি বস্তু মনিটৰ কৰাৰ পদ্ধতি আমাৰ, যাৰ কাৰণে we have to follow a routine making format. This routine making format first of all should start with the mobile phone handling procedures. Each and every child is given a mobile phone to access their homeworks. We can understand that. Each and every child requires a mobile phone to study. That I do not understand. We can even have a desktop, we can even have a laptop, and that to a clear, transparent visibility should be there as to how the child is handling the system. That is more important. Tak mobile phone di dia aru e mobile phone khusori thaka mane je porashona korise, not that. Parents, it should not happen ki class 12 ot goi aponloke ako konuba ejon psychologist ta jabo loga hoy je mobile phone to era nai kele. That is why we need more of different dynamics of child's nurturing today. PUBG game khelibo nidiar karane class 9 or bachchai je has terminated his life from one very coveted school of Guwahati last year in the month of October and November is known to everybody. Addiction game ot hole je ki koribo pora hoy ami sob gom pao, aru tatkeu dangor kotha hol goi 7 and 8 are forming adolescence period. 9-10 ot goi control koratu will be very difficult. Then the child will retaliate. Apuni eta kotha kobo ajir tarikotu adolescence ahar pisotu class 7 aru class 8 apuni dhomkai চকু দেখাই চিঞৰ বাখৰ কৰি বাচ্চাক ৰখাই দিব পাৰিব ক্লাছ 9-10 ত নোৱাৰিব আৰু 11-12 তো আপোনাক পাত্তাই দিয়া নহব তেতিয়া যদি আপোনাৰ বেয়া লাগি যায় যে মোৰ বাচ্চা একেবাৰে মোৰ হাতৰ পৰা গুচি গৈছে then I think it's bad time for all of us মোৰ কথাটো আৰু শুনিবলৈ বেয়া লাগিব যে আমাৰ বাচ্চাৰ নাৰ্চাৰিং বোৰ যদি খুব সঠিকভাৱে গ'লহেঁতেন তেনেহলে অসমত কিন্তু ওল্ড এজ হোমছ ওলাই নাহিলেহেঁতেন এটা সময়ত কিন্তু ওল্ড এজ হোমছ নাছিলে আমাৰ আল্টিমেট জাৰ্নি আল্টিমেট ডেষ্টিনেশ্যন শুড নট বি এট দ্য ওল্ড এজ হোমছ ফৰ which we have to make the child understand us more than we understand our children. First thing again that I would want to speak to everybody is define your expectations. Apuni bachchar pra ki expect kore that's secondary. First of all, define your expectations. What do you want to do? Mur bachchai ebar semester porikhat khub kom number pai ulaise. Class 7 ot kom number paise. Mane basically khub beya numbers pale. Beya numbers puar karone moi ghorot poribek tu ki banaisilu, moi ecology tu ki banaisilu, tar reaction to bachchar ki hoisile. Jodi bacha has got a scar in his heart, he will forever be scared of that particular subject. Now the biggest problem is ami mak deutak hisabe jetia koisu toy iman kom number kele pai loi ahili apuni hosake koksun ei eketa question paper jodi apunak aji solve koribo dia hoy apuni to noaribo iman khini marks to anibo noari. So we as parents we have to be very very sincere about one thing, what am I expecting from the child. Now I did not say ki bacha beya marks pale bhal hoise I did not say that. I said bachchai beya marks puar karon tu ki. It can always be the fear of the subject, fear of a particular teacher's monologue in the classroom, fear of a teacher's presence in the classroom, or perhaps our less amount of intervention towards a particular child's routine format. Ami ghorotu to routine bonua nai. এতিয়া যদি আমি ঘৰত ৰুটিন বনোৱাৰ কথা কওঁ বহুতে কব মই বনাইছো কি মই বনোৱা নাই তাৰো আগত আৰু এটা কথা হল আমি যদি ৰুটিন বনাইছো how did we make the routine are we clinically certified psychotherapists based on which moi gom pam mur bachchar psychotherapy capacity ba competency kiman khini samoy pora khona dibo lagile kiman khini samoy khuat dibo lagibo kiman khini samoy physical exercise dibo lagibo ami na janu ami nojona ke ami bachchak khali ek dhorone dangor korisu poribi bhal marks loi ahibi poribi bhal marks loi ahibi. Parents, I'll tell you something, these mark sheets are not of much use to our lives at one point of time. These mark sheets are not of much use to our life, for which we might as well make the child's life miserable. But one thing is for sure, we have to make the scorecards shine and radiate, for which what we need to do, let's talk. Tar prothom kotha hol goi, how much are both the parents involved in the child's academic upbringing? মোৰ বাচ্চা ইংরেজিত ভালকে কথা নাপাতে স্কুলতো সাকে টিচার হতে ইংলিশত কথা নাপাতে তার কারণে মোৰ বাচ্চাও ইংলিশত কথা পতা নাই আমি ঘৰত এটা স্টেটমেন্ট দিলু স্কুলত ডেফিনেটলি এটা ক্যাথলিক স্কুলত কেতিয়াও ক্লাসরুমত বেলেগ ভাষাত কথা নাপাতিব ইংরেজিতে কথা পাতিব কিন্তু মোৰ প্রবলেম হল স্কুলত এজন টিচারে এটা সাবজেক্টত 40 মিনিট সাবজেক্টহে পঢ়াইছে ইংরেজি শিকোৱা নাই যাৰ কাৰণে আমাক জানিব লাগিলে আমি ঘৰত কিমানখিনি হেই একেটা বস্তু চৰ্চা কৰিব পাৰো না বহুত প্যারেন্টসে কব আমি কেনেকৈ চৰ্চা কৰিম মইতো ইংলিশ নাজানো তেনেহলে আমাৰ ডিমান্ডো কৰিব আমি নোৱাৰো. In that case, we might as well not demand also ki mur bachchar English kotha patibo lagibo. Let me also learn, let me also try, let me also involve. Otherwise, the priority is not your correction. The priority is the child's life, which is going to be formed, which is being molded by your own hands. Bachcha ji hobo is an outcome of your upbringing. Jodi ami koisu je omuk schoolot joar pisot mur bachchato beya hoise, that is wrong. তামানে বাচ্চাৰ ইন্ট্ৰা এন্ড ইন্টাৰ সোশিয়াল কম্পিটেন্সিজ টু কম হৈ ওলাইছে এইটো বয়সত কাৰণ জি টু কন্ট্ৰিবিউট কৰিছে ক্লাছৰুম ডেকোৰামত হি হ্যাজ কন্ট্ৰিবিউটেড হোৱাট হি হ্যাজ লাৰ্ন ফ্ৰম হোম স্কুলৰ পৰা বেয়া বস্তু শিকাৰ কোনো ৰাস্তা নাথাকে বিশেষকে তাৰ কাৰণটো হ'ল গৈ স্কুলৰ ব্যাক টু ব্যাক পিৰিয়ড স্পিক্স এবাউট সাবজেক্টস তাৰে মাজত যিমানখিনি অলপ সলপ হৈছে কথাবোৰ কেনেকুৱাকে হয় অমুক লৰাটো খুব বান্দৰ অমুক লৰাটো খুব ধুৰন্দৰ অমুক পোৱালিটোৱে খুব বেয়া বেয়া কথা কয় এই যে ডায়লগস বোৰ আমি কওঁ আমাৰ বাচ্চা কেইটাই কিন্তু অমুকৰ বাচ্চাটোও কিন্তু বেলেগ কাবাৰ নে কাবাৰ বাচ্চাই হয় আৰু তেখেতেও কিন্তু মাক দেউতাকে লেতেৰা কথা বতৰা কৈ স্কুলত পঠোৱা নাই আমি ঘৰত ডিসকাশন কৰাৰ লগালগ our child starts taking this advantage আচ্ছা মই লেতেৰা কথা কলে অমুকে খাব গালিটো তো মই কৈ থাকো let him get the benefit of it কালি যদি স্কুলৰ পৰা এটা কমপ্লেইন আহে, কালি যদি সঁচাকে স্কুলৰ পৰা এজন কমপ্লেইন আহে, বা যদি বাচ্চাই আহি কয় অমুক টিচাৰে মোক খুব বেয়াকে গালি দিছে, অমুক টিচাৰে মোক ক্লাছৰ পৰা ওলাই দিছে, আমি লগালগ কওঁ এই টিচাৰজন সঁচাকে বদমাছ, এই টিচাৰক চালেই লাগে যে টিচাৰটো সাংঘাতিক বদমাছি কৰে। এই যে শব্দবোৰ আমি কৈছো ঘৰত, you don't even realize how much the child takes it to his heart and acts forever. My all-time favorite has been Sandra ma'am. I do not know Sandra ma'am is here or not. So Sandra ma'am of bhal poar karon to hol goi, Sandra ma'am is very assertive as a Catholic school teacher, jitu mur school teacher nisna asile. Teketok sale mur school teacher kotha monot pore. Etia Sandra ma'am ok jodi koa hoy ma'am jon khub karha, moi good morning buli kole ma'am e nahahe, moi jodi greet koribo jao ma'am e pattao nidiye. Ei San Francisco teacher bor attitude hanghatik. এই যে শব্দবোৰ আমি কৈছো আমাৰ বাচ্চাকেইটা কিন্তু কথাবোৰ পার্মানেন্টলি লৈ পেলাইছে। And once these children takes these statements, they will never be able to give the same amount of respect what you and I give to our teachers till date. আজি ৰাতিও যদি মোৰ স্কুল টিচাৰে কেতিয়াবা বা মোৰ কলেজ শিক্ষকে মোক ফোন কৰে, মই বহি কথা নাপাতো, মই থিয় হৈ যাওঁ। মই ইয়াতে webinar কৰিব বহিছো আৰু ফাদাৰে কিবা এটা কামৰ কাৰণে মোক ফোন কৰিছিলে। The moment father called up, fatherৰ নাম্বাৰটো চাই লগালগ I stood up and I said good evening father. এটো অটোমেটিক্যালি ফাদাৰে মোক দেখাও নাই। The problem is the way of how the concept of respect was nurtured in us for the principals, for the academicians. Have we been able to do that in terms of the adolescents now they have entered in? So prothom issue to asile privacy. 2 number 2, privacy monitoru koribo lagibo. Privacy dia hoise kiman phone ahise, car phone ahise, messages ki ase, school bagot ki ase, homework korile ne kora nai, ei bostu ketao sabo lagibo. Kintu ei bostu keta suar prokriya should not be invasion of privacy. Samsun car phone ahile ইমান ৰাতি ৰাতি তো কাৰ লগত কথা পাতো, কথা পতাৰ সময়তে দৰজা বন্ধ কৰি কথা পাতো কেলে? সো এই বস্তুবোৰ যেতিয়া আপোনালোকে আৰম্ভ কৰিব এতিয়াৰ পৰা, because the child will also start behaving these things, তেতিয়াৰ পৰা আপুনি গম পাব the child finds a threat to handle his own parents. The child understands কি মোৰ মাক দেউতাকে মোক বিশ্বাস নকৰে, সো মোৰ মাক দেউতাকে যদি মোক বিশ্বাস নকৰে তেনেহলে মই ভুলভাল কাম কৰিমে কৰিম। 2 নম্বৰ বস্তু আৰু এটা দেখা গৈছে যে আমাৰ কম্পিটিশন as a parent, আমাৰ কম্পিটিশন এটা লাগি থাকে, আমাৰ বাচ্চাৰ স্কোৰ কাৰ্ড should be always more than the person whom I know. তাৰ বেস্ট ফ্ৰেন্ডতকে যেন মোৰ বাচ্চাৰ মাৰ্কসটো বেছি আহে, অমুকতকে যেন মোৰ বাচ্চাৰ মাৰ্কসটো বেছি পায়, মেৰিট লিষ্টত যেন বেলেগ আহক কি নাহক মোৰ বাচ্চাৰ যেন মানে নাম্বাৰটো যেন আহে। মই যেতিয়া মোৰ লৰাৰ মেৰিট লিষ্ট চাব যাওঁ স্কুলত, আগত মই মোৰ লৰাৰ নাম নাচাও, আগত মই বাকি কেইটা পোৱালিৰ নাম চাও যিকেইটা পোৱালিক মই ভাল নাপাও, আৰু যদি এইকেইটা নাম থাকে লগালগ মোৰ মুখটো ৰঙা বগা হৈ যায়। সেইটো মই আজিলৈও কৰো। তুমি আপোনালোকক কি বুজাম? As a parent, this is in the default system that we can well understand, but it has to be maintained and monitored that we do not talk and communicate these so that the child takes up a advantage for us. Etia invasion of privacy logalog adolescence or second bostu to ahile the child's diet chart. এতিয়াৰ পৰা চাব বাচ্চাহঁতে খোৱা লৈ সাংঘাতিক দিগদাৰ কৰিব, অমুক খাব ভাল নাপাও, তমুক খাব ভাল নাপাও। তাৰ মুদ্দা কাৰণটো হল গৈ তাৰ পঢ়া শুনা কৰাৰ ক্ষেত্ৰটো has become a challenge. Subjects are difficult now. Subjects or logot tar coordination aru bondhutto to kom hoise, aru subjects beya poar mudda karon hol goi ta stress ahi pale. Stress ohar karone apunak nokobo, kintu tar khuar khub irregularity hobo, bhal na pabo khabole, breakfast kor nakhao khabole mon nai, schoolot joar samoyt maximum bachcha nukhoake schoolot jay. Henceforth tekhetokor irritational behavior, মানে ইৰিটেশন বিহেভিয়াৰৰ ইৰিটেশনটো ক্লাছৰুমত গৈ ওলাই আহিব। কোন ৰাতি ভাত খাইছিলে, গোটে ৰাতিটো একো পেটত নাই, ৰাতিপুৱা ব্ৰেকফাষ্ট কৰা নাই, অটোমেটিক্যালি ফাৰ্স্ট ব্ৰেকৰ আগলৈ তেখেতৰ সিস্টেম ইজ নট হেলদি। They will not be able to react in the best form as it is expected. Parents, kindly monitor your child's body weight according to the body mass. Consult a doctor and get a diet plan chart according to the age and according to the weight. অমুক বাচ্চা সাংঘাতিক শকত হৈ গৈছে তো তাক খোৱা বন্ধ কৰাই দিব লাগিলে, অমুক বাচ্চা সাংঘাতিক ক্ষীণ তাক ডাবল ট্ৰিপল খোৱাই থাকিব লাগিব। These are obsessive love of children. আৰু প্ৰত্যেকজন মাকে সদায় কৈছে মোৰ বাচ্চা ক্ষীণাই গল, মোৰ বাচ্চা ক্ষীণাই গল। মোৰ মা মৃত্যুলৈ মোক চাই সদায় কৈছিলে লৰাটো ইমান ক্ষীণাইছে, মোৰ ফালে চাওক মই কেতিয়াও ক্ষীণাইছো, ক্ষীণ যেন লাগিছিল মোক দেখিবলৈ, মইতো জন্মগতে এনেকুৱাকে পেটলা মানুহ আছে। সদায় মোৰ মায়ে কৈছিলে খিনাই গল. Hence malnutrition is another issue that we have to talk to. So parents, আমাৰ 2 নম্বৰ বস্তুটো হল গৈ the child's food habits. Now in the food habits, one thing has to be very important for all of us is the use of ginger, the use of garlic has to be comparatively a little less. But now it is contradictory towards the pandemic, where garlic has found to be an antibiotic against many immunity powers. We can understand that. But please maintain the fact that garlic intake actually triggers many elements of adolescence. I hope everybody understands, which I'm not opening out right now in this platform. We have to be very careful about it. And the most important part in the diet is the dinner. The dinner at night cannot happen in your home at around 10:30, 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, or even at 9 o'clock. Students are supposed to finish their dinner by 8 to maximum by 8:30. Then the studies needs to be continued, so that the shaping of the brain according to the retention and the comprehension capacity increases. Now our problem to ki hoise, ami khoday rati 10টা 11টা 12টাত ভাত খাও. তো 10টা 11টাত ৰাতি ভাত খোৱা হলে তো দিগদাৰ হৈ গৈছে. আৰু উইক ডেজত আমাৰ কি প্ৰবলেম হৈছে, মানে জেনাৰেল লাইফত উইক ডেজত উই আৰ লাইক মেচিনছ. ৰাতিপুৱা উঠ, স্কুলত যা, স্কুলৰ পৰা আহি আকৌ খা, আকৌ খোৱাৰ পিছত টিউচন যা, নহলে টিউচন টিচাৰ ঘৰত আহিব, আকৌ খা, তাৰ পিছত পঢ়িব ব, আকৌ ডিনাৰ কৰ আৰু শুই যা, ৰাতিপুৱা আকৌ 7টা বজাত স্কুলত যাব লাগিব. So we have mechanized the system. The child is quite breathless. The child do not know how to breathe in. The child has become a machine. তাৰে মাজত বিভিন্ন অভিভাৱক আছে, বিভিন্ন পেৰেন্টছ আছে, যোনে বাচ্চাক জুডো ক্লাছত লৈ যাব, সুইমিং ক্লাছত লৈ যাব, গানৰ ক্লাছত লৈ যাব. ক্লাছ 7 ক্লাছ 8ত তাৰ বয়স কিমান হৈছে, সিমানখিনি বয়সত তাৰ ভাল নম্বৰো আনিব লাগিব, তাৰ জুডো ক্লাছতো যাব লাগিব, তাৰ সুইমিং ক্লাছতো যাব লাগিব, তাৰ গোটেইখিনি বস্তু কৰি মানে 360 ডিগ্ৰী ছুপাৰ হিৰো হৈ আহিবগৈ. তাৰ পিছত যদি মাৰ্কস ভাল নাপায়, তাৰ ডাবল ট্ৰিপল ঘৰত ধুলাইও দিব লাগিব. সেনেকুৱাটো এটা বাচ্চা হাতৰ পৰা বিগড়াই যাব, আমাৰ হাতৰ পৰা ওলাই যাব. So parents, I would sincerely request everybody of y'all people to analyze your expectations from your child. What are you expecting? That the child should be a mechanized machine to bring in the best of the scores and become a zombie? Or you require your child to become a good human being? Now you have to ask yourself, what are you looking forward for? We have people in this universe who has been IIM and IIT toppers, who has committed suicides in their life at the age of 35 and 36 just because they could not handle failures handle koribo para nai. Hangatik successful, hangatik bhal student, kintu failures handle koribo para hua nasile. So we have managed failures in our life. Aru eta dangor problem hol goy eating meals together. It's a vital point of making the child understand the mutual respect of the father and the mother both together. বহুত সময় দেখা যায় দেউতাই কয় তোমালোকে খাই লোৱা, মই ৰাতি পিছত খাম. Wrong behavior of the father. We have to have meals together, because eating together not only speaks about the family united together and all those stuff, not that, but eating together is a message to the child that we live together. The essence of emotion and warmth maximizes in the dining table. It should be together. I would sincerely request from now onwards to have the father's presence in the kitchen at times, to show the child that the respect for the mother is equally important. The child should not always grow up thinking ki maihe khoday deutar karone khana banai diye, maihe khoday sa banai diye, deutai kintu ketio bonwa nai. So bahut deutai kobo ami to paghora jaboi nwaru, bahut deutai kobo ami to sa banabo nwaru. Please learn and make your child understand that you even love your wife, so that the child can also know how to respect the opposite gender. That's very important. Otherwise, unnoticeably, unknowingly, unintentionally, we are putting in difficulties to our children's social behavior. That's one thing we would request everybody to understand. And please volunteer. Tumi kori mane rati, let it has to be a mandatory element. This is a tip from a very famous psychiatrist, that After dinner, the father, it has to be made a point that the father actually releases the mom, saying that the kitchen tables will be wiped off clean, the utensils will be wiped off clean by the father with the help of the children, and the mom has to be released well, so that all the children here realizes how much both the parents respect each other. নহলে নিজৰ জীৱনত যেতিয়া বিয়া পাতিব তেখেতসকলে সদায় ভাইছে ভাৰ্সা কাজিয়া কৰি গৈ থাকিব। The most important part in a child's upbringing right now, parents, has to be your mutual kajia. Now, husband and wife mane kajia nohobo hoboi noare. It has to be there. Please fight when the child is not at home, but do not contradict with any kind of a language in front of the children. The children knows what language they need to speak to the opposite gender, because and the same he will repeat in front of his wife too, or the husbands too. That's why we speak of mutual behavioral context. Previously, when we had joint family structure, we were distributed in front of with many members of the family, and we never knew basically how mother and father, the parental upbringing, had it happened. There were grandmoms back at home. There were uncles and aunts who fed us, grandmoms who had wonderful stories to share with us, and all those were those mesmerizing days which went across. Ajit tarikot bachcha ekmatro dujon manuhoke sai, aponalokok dujonok. And you people are actually more powerful than Shah Rukh Khan's of the Bollywood industry, because he believes you are superlative. The child always understands that my dad is always right, my mom is always right. There is no way anytime they can actually accept a single inch of vice from a father or a mother. Be careful about your conduct, dear parents. There are many parents who has got many habits of speaking, doing, eating, doing anything and everything possible. That's there. But at the end of the day, please realize you are being observed by a CCTV camera, and that is being recorded forever. The same will be reflected in front of you after some years' time. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health, and we don't smoke, and we smoke, that I don't know. But parents to whom you have made it evident in front of your children, you've taught them smoking. Tomorrow, if he smokes and comes back at home, you don't have the right to ask, why did you smoke and come in? Because he's learned it from you. Who said that? Which page of the Constitution of India has given you right to do this? That too in front of our children. Because our children are something that will be reflected in front of us, all because of us. That's one thing we have to be very, very careful, dear parents. Dear parents, please speak about very, very mild discussions with your children regarding their personal lives and social behavior. Who's your best friend? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? And if it is your favorite food and favorite color, why is it your favorite color? These things are very important. I spoke to class 6 today, to class 7 and class 8, the same tip that should go. Please take your children along with you for shopping and let them decide their own dresses. You know that the child is deciding a wrong dress. Doesn't matter. But the child will have identity. The child will know that he has been respected and regarded for his own choices. Tomorrow he will be able to make a better choice. That's very important for all of us to be very careful as to how we can nurture the child in these small basic ways. Do not invite a trouble and open up a battle. Because most of the time we have seen in the process of nurturing a child, in the process of rearing up a child, we have also developed child psychology. পঢ়িব বহিতে বারবার কি কৰি আছো, তোৰ পঢ়িব নালাগে, পঢ়া টেবুলৰ পৰা উঠি যা, আৰু নেক্সট টাইম কে পঢ়িবও নিদিবি। এই যে আমি ডায়লগছ বোৰ দিছো, these are not disciplinary actions, these are like cartoon characters. The child enjoys this, and you keep repeating it twice and thrice. The child understands maximum to maximum ইমানে ড্ৰামা হ'ব মোৰ ঘৰত, তাতকে বেছি একো নহয়। তাৰ মানে কি হল, parents, we have lost assertivity. We don't have assertivity, আৰু assertivity যদি নাহে, strictness আমি flow out কৰিব নোৱাৰিম। এই বেসিক বস্তু কেইটা আমাৰ আজিৰ তাৰিখত মানে জনাটো কেলে দৰকাৰ, কাৰণ কালি ৰাতিপুৱা the bacha will not only be a school's product, the bacha will be a social product. And while this social production happens, the child becomes an element of contributing the good or even the bad towards our society. And then tomorrow somebody points up a finger at your upbringing, you cannot counter and you cannot fight back saying that I have done my job all set and all correct. These kind of topics cannot actually be covered within 40-50 minutes time, but that much I would want to speak to everyone, that please put up introspections on your behavior. Please put up introspections on how you talk when you are angry. This is very important for class 7 and class 8 kids, that while you are angry, what is the mode of your reaction? The child will also know how to react during crisis period. Whenever there is rainy days, how do you cover it up? Rainy days did not mean about less economy. Rainy days also means about many things, that we need to make the child know how to fight his own battles. Nijor battle to nije jujibo kenekwake hikise kintu apunar pora. Pandemic hol, মোৰ দৰমহা কাটি দিছে, ঘৰত পইচা নাই, খোৱাৰ অসুবিধা হৈ যাব, school fees কৰ পৰা দিম. These are casual talks that we all talk, but also realize how much of it is can be justifiable to speak in front of our children. My time is up. মোৰ সময় খুব কম, আৰু মোৰ বেয়া কি লাগে, মোক ফাদাৰে অলপখিনি সময় দিয়ে, মই কথা পাতিব গলে বহল কথা পাতি দিওঁ, বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ কথা পাতি দিওঁ। কিন্তু এটা কথা কিন্তু খুব সঁচা, class 7 and class 8 is the beginning of your, মানে আপুনি আজিৰ তাৰিখত you are like a mason, Mistri, that you are constructing an element for the society. Tomorrow, your child is going to be a blockbuster. Tomorrow, your child is not going to be a contributory element. Is all because of us. Bacha sobe bhal. Every child is good and equal. The problem is with the nurturing. The problem is with the gardener, you and I. আমি কিমানখিনি তাৰ চাৰিওফালে বেৰটো দিছো, আমি কিমানখিনি তাক পানী ঢালিছো, কিমানখিনি ম্যানিউৰ ঢালিছো, তাৰ পিছত আশা কৰিম যে সেইটো গছত ফল লাগিব নে নালাগে, সেইটো গছৰ তলত আমি বহিলে চাহ পাম নে নাপাম, তেতিয়া we can expect. Otherwise, মোৰ কথাটো শুনিবলৈ actually বেয়া, যেতিয়া মই কৈছিলো যে আমাৰ অসমত কিন্তু old age home অহা আৰম্ভ হৈ গৈছে. Old age home is not a very good sign of a very good nurturing processes. I think it personally. That's why I sincerely request all of your people to be cautious and careful from now onwards. 7, 8 onwards, not only the syllabus becomes difficult, but your syllabus in raising the child also becomes difficult. Now he is a different entity. Psychosocial motor skills bor etiar pora notun dhorone pop up korise, notun dhorone craft hobo. Henceforth, I am sure that you will do the best of everything possible, and I'm sure all the children have a wonderful life ahead with the wonderful school that he has been through. But believe me, I might sound like a spokesperson of SFS Narangi, but I know the school's vision. I know this congregation's vision. All the schools and colleges that I have visited, I know their epic center is always students development, for which they have constantly been nurturing their teachers too. SFS school teacher je certification programs board korise ba aji jitu jaga tekhetokole ji certifications board loi class ot jay, rarely I should say any of the teachers around the coveted schools of Guwahati ro enekwake certifications board ase ne nai. So you are in safe hands, and I sincerely look forward sometime jodi apanalokor feedback bhal ahe, jodi ketiba ako parents teachers meet hoy physically log pam. Till then, keep nurturing your child to the best of the possible ways and make superstars happen in our country. Thank you very, very much. Over to Sangyukta ma'am.
Sir, your words are always very inspiring. So on behalf of the entire Disalite family, I extend a sincere thanks for joining us today and sharing your insights and learning experiences on new age parenting and the challenges associated with it. So let us all constantly remember that we, that means parents and teachers, are yesterday's adults, and we are teaching children of today for a tomorrow. So let us all remember that all the time, and let us be patient while dealing with our children, observe them more rather than dictate them, and let us handle them with more care. That is all we can do. And let's collaborate. The teacher and the parent has to collaborate to develop responsible behavior of the children. That's what I've understood from you today. So yes. Thank you once again, sir.
Thanks.
Hope to see you tomorrow again. Absolutely. Over to you, Father. Over to you, Father.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanyukta. Dear parents, it was very nice to listen to Mr. Anjan in a very, very beautiful manner. And Anjan has given some real points for reflection for everyone, for students, for fathers, for mothers. And I am sure the mothers are more happier today, because Anjan has really told the fathers that they should really visit the kitchen once a while and help the mothers. And I could see in the photograph, some of the mothers were really looking at the husbands that you need to be in the kitchen. So it was really some points of real reflection for everyone, for fathers, mothers, and for students as well. So thank you, Anjan. It was very nice listening to you. Thank you for all the good advice that you have given to us. Now, dear parents, there is that old saying, home is the first school and the parents are the first teachers. And though it is just a saying, in fact, this is what happens today. Parents have become the first teachers. Even CBSE has asked us, the school management, to help the parents to become teachers today. And accordingly, the real purpose of a teacher is to be facilitators. That is, we are supposed to be doing. Principal and teachers, we are facilitators so that students learn. And parents should become the real teachers. So our role is double today. We need to teach the students, and at the same time, we should also educate our parents. And we have initiated that process. And home is the first school, and there is no doubt about it. It is said that by the time the child leaves for the school, by the age of 3 or 4, practically they have learned all the attitudes that they require for their life. And this is all learned at home. So home is very important. Whatever we speak and whatever we do, that has a lot of importance. So it is very clear that we, the parents, we should show good example. What we speak and what we do, it is very important, and that is important for the future of our children. So please keep learning, keep doing, and I'm sure we can become wonderful, great parents for our future. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, the COVID has brought a lot of instability in our lives, in the way our country functions, the way the whole world functions. Lot of job loss, unemployment, the plan and the purposes of the lives of the people are broken. Many things which we planned 3 months back, it is no more happening. We are into a lot of chaos and crises, and we know people are really suffering. Financial loss as well, it is there. But then, when we really look at life, life is not, it is not a straight curve, it is not a straight line all the time. There are curves, there are bends, and there are difficulties and struggles that always accompanied in the process of doing life. And the last 3 months, it has really taught us that we need to be prepared for anything. And the worst thing is that we should be, the best thing is that we should be prepared for failures, challenges, uncertainties in life. And in education, it is very important that we teach our children to accept failures and difficulties. And failures are very important. As we hear, that is a stepping stone towards success. The more failure we become, the greater the chance of we becoming successful in the next time. And often, none of us like to be failures in life. We all want to be successful in whatever we do. If we are a mother, when we are mothers, and when we cook our food, we want to cook the best of the food. And when our fathers, when they go out and work, they want to be the best in whatever work that they do. Failure is something that none of us like to have. We detest failures. But then, without a failure, there is no life. Failure teaches us what is the important lessons of life. And the COVID-19 also teaches the same thing to every one of us, that you don't have too much of expectations, don't have too much of plans. Anything can go wrong at any point of time, and be prepared for every uncertainty, every unplanned things in life. And this is important for every one of us. And I myself, 3 months back, how planned we were for the new academic session. Everything was planned from A to Z. Then came the great news about lockdown, and then we know what has happened. Even the final examination we couldn't complete. But then the beautiful thing is that we as human beings, we have the capacity and the ability to reinvent ourselves, find out better solutions according to the needs and according to the time. And that is the beauty of being a human person. Animals can't do that, but we human beings can do that. For example, even this simple thing of our parents meeting. We never imagined that it can be in this way 2 months back when we met in the hall of the SFS. But today it is simply possible through Zoom, and there are so many applications, so many platforms available. So that is the beauty of being human. So let us enjoy this. Let us enjoy this new way of life. Let us enjoy everything that is around us, and at the same time, let us teach our children also to be ready for any uncertainties that happen. Now, I really want to thank every one of you parents for standing by our children at every point of time. You have really stood like rocks in helping and supporting them. And the moment we started the online classes, you were there encouraging, supporting, providing them with new technology, mobile, laptops, tabs, and then you made everything possible. And because of that, we are able to have the online classes in a very beautiful and effective manner. And I really want to thank our teachers as well for making it possible. And today it is not only the teachers who are part of educating your children. I can assure you, every member of the family of the teacher is involved in providing education, because the teachers, they have to prepare a lot, and then they have to do the recording, and the recording is not often done by the teachers themselves. Their own husbands and wives and children and family members, everyone has become part of it, and it has become a collaborative effort, and our children, they are really the beneficiaries of it. So I really want to thank our teachers sincerely for all the efforts that they have put in. They have proved themselves as effective, and technology they have used to the best of their abilities, and that is what we see. And I really feel proud about them for all what they do. And on behalf of all the parents and every one of us present here, I want to thank all the teachers. And then at the same time, I want to thank our students. I can see so many of them sitting there along with the parents. And it is the most beautiful thing about this parents meeting is that I see parents sitting together with the children, father, mother, and the children. And that is something really beautiful. And that is where we need to really seriously think about forming, having the meeting, the family meeting. At least once a month, we need to have a kind of family meeting. Now we might ask, why to have a family meeting? I meet my children every day. I discuss everything with my wives. I don't take any decision of my own. Everything I discuss. And then, we discuss breakfast, lunch, dinner time. A lot of things happen. So why to have a family meeting? But then, when we have a formal family meeting, it has a lot of importance. We share our ideas, we share our views, and it is not that, and then we provide our children also to express themselves in front of elders in a very, very formal manner. And this is what often we don't, educated people, sometimes we forget to do that. Provide them opportunity to discuss, give them a simple topic, a very simple topic, and allow them to give their opinion. What do they feel about it? And when they express their opinion, it is not necessary that you need to take all their opinion, but then give them that feeling, and that independence, that freedom of expressing themselves. And that is something great which we can teach our children. Often we find that we elders, we take a lot of decisions for our children, and once they reach class 10 and 12, even then, or when they grow up, even after having got married, sometimes we see the father and the mother that it takes decision for themselves, for their children. Not we don't allow our children. So it's very important, little by little we allow our children to take decisions and listen to them. And a formal family meeting is always good, and this idea is slowly being accepted all over the world today, because it is a process of education. It is a process of educating our children. So all the best to every one of you, parents, students, teachers. And then everything is going normally in the school. We have the normal regular classes, and then chapter tests are going on. PT examinations also will happen shortly. So by the month of end of this month, definitely there will be a summer break, because we all need a break, students and teachers. So there will be the summer vacation by the end of the month. And after that, after the summer vacation, we will be having the PT examination. And PT examination, as it is given in the school diary, it will be for 40 mark. And then the details will you will know. we will use every technology that is available for the PT examination. And then, of course, I'm sure you won't get a chance to copy in the examination, though you will be taking the exam at home. And I'm sure your father and mother will not support you or help you while you are doing your examination, because they know the importance of being honest and sincere while doing your exam. So you will definitely be having the PT1 exam. Out of 40 mark, it will happen. So I request every parent to ensure that the children have the good internet connection. They have, if possible, provide them with a laptop so that it becomes easy for them to participate in the class and in the examinations as well after that. And then once the exam is over, we hope that we will have the opportunity to come back to the school. We are waiting for the order from the government. So everything shall happen naturally as it used to be, and that is what we hope to do. Then we will also be slowly moving towards live Zoom classes, because only recording and then teaching, it may not be it may not work all the time. So definitely we would like to have some kind of interaction with the students. Many parents have told me, Father, I have 3 children and then I have only 1 mobile. When I go to the office, children do not have mobile. So how can I do? I got a few mails and opinion. It's all true. But then please know it, we are all living in challenging times, unexpected and uncertain times. And then somehow we have to find a way. When the part of the school, we shall try to find out some way. But then I request all the parents as well, find out your own creative ways in which, the lockdown or the COVID, let it go. At the same time, the education also can go on. So I want to thank every one of you parents for being so cooperative and supportive. Your collaboration, your support has always encouraged us, and that is what helps us to go forward. And please know it for sure that your children will lack in nothing. Know it for sure one more time that your children will lose anything and they will lack in nothing because of this COVID or because of the coronavirus. Rather, we will ensure that they get everything that they deserve, and your children are in safe hands. We will ensure that the best of the facilities are provided to them, that the school is sanitized. We already started the process of it. And as and when the school reopens, when your children come back to the school, safety shall be the first priority and everything comes after that. Safety will be the number 1 priority, and everything within our capacity, the best of everything possible shall be provided to the children, so that we all live long and we live happily, acquiring education and growing continuously. So once again, thank you so much for being part of us. Thank you to Anjan. Thank you to Vice Principal Sister Josna. Thank you to Sanikta Miss. Thank you to the coordinators. Thank you to all the office staff of the school who made it possible. Thank you to Arif, to Mrinal, to Mamani, to Shilpi, and to everyone who is part of the school. So thank you so much and good night. God bless every one of you.
Thank you, Father. So let us end this session with the school anthem. So I would ask Arif to parents to stand up for the anthem. Stand up for the anthem.
Champion of God's kingdom, you are the source of true wisdom. You are the champion of God's kingdom, you are the source of true wisdom. Christ, you are the radiance of this light, dispel the shades of avidya, dispel the shades of avidya. Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya, Om spread the light of Christ and love. You brighten the way to God and human. You spread the light of Christ and love. You teach the truth of Christ and wisdom. This world's of your vision and mission. This world's of your vision and mission. Asento masa gamaya, tama sumajo gamaya, mrityo mamritam gamaya. Om Safas Jaya Jaya He. Om Safas Jaya Jaya He.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you.